course. I believe we do have two commissioners joining us remotely today, so we'll be doing roll call all evening. So Commissioner Kennedy,
Present.
Commissioner Werblin,
Present.
Commissioner Matthews,
Present.
Commissioner Reese,
Present.
Commissioner Singh,
Present.
Commissioner Greavy,
Was that Greedy who answered present?
we'll skip Greavy for now, and then Commissioner Paul. Okay.
You got 3 on mine. That's just 3 minutes.
For
Okay.
the folks helping me in the back, can you please confirm if we have our commissioners on call?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So just looking to hear a verbal here or present from Commissioner Greavy.
Yes, he's here.
Okay, and for Commissioner Paul.
He's here as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Werblin, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Information on providing public comments. Persons wishing to address the Planning Commission on subjects not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission, provided that no action may be taken on an off-agenda items except as authorized by law. Off-agenda items from the public will be taken under consideration without discussion by the Commission and may be referred to staff. Comments will be accepted in person or via Zoom. The public comment instructions are to speak on an agenda item in person. Please complete a speaker's card and give it to the secretary before the meeting or at the latest prior to the time for public comments on that item. When joining via Zoom, please use your raise your hand feature or press *9 on your phone to request to speak. You will be called on by name and will have 3 minutes to speak tonight. Approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda tonight?
No, there are not.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
A second?
I second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. May we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Werblin,
Approve.
Commissioner Matthews,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Singh,
Approved.
Commissioner Greavy, or Commissioner Paul,
Paul's here.
who I can see.
Okay. Now we have the approval of the minutes for the regular Planning Commission meeting held December the 11th, 2024. Are there any changes to the minutes from December 11th?
There are not.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to take a roll call.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
I apologize. Commissioner Kennedy,
Yes.
Commissioner Werblin,
Approve.
Commissioner Matthews,
Approve.
Commissioner Reese,
Approve.
Commissioner Singh,
Approved.
Commissioner Greavy, and Commissioner Paul.
Yeah, approved.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, public comments. This is the time for the public to speak on items not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the Planning Commission. I will now open the public comment period. We do not have any cards. Do we have anybody online? Does not appear so. I do not have any speaker cards for public comment. I will now close the public comment period. Scheduled items. The next item on the agenda is scheduled matters. For each agendized item, there will be a presentation by city staff. For items that involve application request, I will ask that the applicant to address the commission if they so desire. Then I will open the comment period via Zoom and in-house. I will close the comment period after all comments have been provided and after all our questions regarding the testimony during the comment period have been answered. After the comment period is closed, the commission will deliberate on the item and may have additional questions for staff. We cannot take additional testimony or questions from the public after public comment period is closed. So item 8, Blue Ridge at SUISUN Valley. A public hearing at the request of John Barkey of Wiseman Commercial, Inc., to develop a 3-building, 84-unit multifamily complex, which includes a clubhouse, amenity space on the corner of Campus Lane and SUISUN Valley Road. Our presenter tonight is Yi-Lin Wong. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Sorry, there we go. Good evening, Chairperson and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Yi-Lin Wong. And today I am presenting the project DR 2024-007 Blue Ridge at SUISUN Valley, which is, like you mentioned, a new multifamily development at the corner of Campus Lane and SUISUN Valley Road. The proposed project will include approximately 33,000 square feet of total development, which includes approximately 30,000 square feet of apartment building square footage and 3,000 square feet of clubhouse amenity for the residents. Various landscape improvements are also proposed throughout the site. The project site is bounded by an adjacent parcel to the east, which is an office building, Campus Lane to the south, SUISUN Valley Road to the west, and Solano College Road to the north. Surrounding the project site are existing developments consisting of a mix of land uses, including residential, commercial, and educational, which is the Solano Community College at the north. As mentioned, the location of the project is at the northeast corner of Campus Lane and SUISUN Valley Road. The project is on a parcel at 3.1 acres, and the existing site is vacant. The parcels to the west and south of the project site are zoned RMNC, or Medium Density Residential North Cordelia Overlay, and given the general plan land use designation as Medium Density Residential. The parcel to the east of the project is zoned IBP, or Industrial Business Park, and given the general plan land use designation as Business Flex. The project parcel itself is zoned IBP, which is Industrial Business Park, and given the general plan land use designation of Very High Density Residential. And the zoning for this is IBP right now, but because it has been designated as, from the general plan, as Very High Density Residential, we are considering it as our RVH, or Residential Very High Density Residential. Areas with this general plan land use designation typically include multifamily development, which this project is consistent with. The site will be accessed from Campus Lane at the south of the site, or on the left of your screen here. For multifamily developments, required parking spaces are dependent on the number and mix of units provided in the development. So 1 space per studio unit, 1.5 spaces per 1 bedroom, 2 spaces per 2 bedroom unit, and 1 visitor space per 7 dwelling units. A total of 146 parking spaces are required for this development, and this project exceeds that parking requirement at 148 spaces. As per ordinance, 1 covered space per unit is also required, which is provided in this project. As proposed, the landscape plan for the project will include a mix of evergreen shrubs and grasses and live ground cover. The project meets all landscaping requirements, including 1 tree for each 25 feet of street frontage, which is the 9 trees at Campus Lane. So the next few slides are just going to be building elevations. Right now we're showing east and west. All the apartment buildings utilize varied building materials such as fine textured cement wall and wood siding, as well as a consistent color scheme throughout all the apartment buildings, as well as the clubhouse. Each apartment building includes variation in roof line and roof caps for further visual interest, and overall the architectural components and color scheme of the facility are harmonious and meet the city's design objectives. So I'll just go through the next few slides. They all are pretty consistent. So here's building 1, more of building 1, building 2, and more of building 1, building 2, building 3, And here's the clubhouse, which also is, it just matches the color scheme and all the materials of the other apartment buildings. And then here are some renderings, so you can see the perspective view from the residential buildings, from the clubhouse, and also entrance from Campus Lane. This project is exempt from CEQA under Section 15183, projects consistent with the community plan or zoning as it complies with the criteria listed. So the project is consistent with the general plan and zoning of the city where the project is located, and because it is subject to tiering off of the broader EIR, and in our case, it's the general plan EIR, which was adopted late last year. The project's review is limited to issues peculiar to the site, and the general EIR serves as a basis for the project's environmental study. So the applicant team prepared some compliance reports to analyze the environmental impacts of the project itself. And through this report, it was studied that the impacts addressed through the mitigation measures existing in our general plan EIR are sufficient to address all the potential impacts of the project. Therefore, there is no additional EIR required for this project. Some key development conditions include site plan improvements. So 6 bike parking spaces are required as per municipal code, and that has been conditioned for the project. And it is also conditioned to comply with the crime-free multi-housing program requirements as per the Fairfield Police Department, and that just addresses some security and safety improvements through environmental design. There are also a couple of public works conditions. So there's a grant deed of easement for the reciprocal access between this parcel and the parcel to its east, which share a common driveway. So the existing reciprocal access agreement shall be modified to match the shared common area improvements. And there's also dedication of right-of-way along SUISUN Valley Road. That's also a public works condition for the developer to vacate a portion of the parcel along SUISUN Valley Road. And this doesn't bear or have any changes to current operations in terms of city maintenance, because the city staff has already been maintaining that portion of the right-of-way along SUISUN Valley Road. This is more of a cleanup item, so everything is squared away and the portions of the parcel are where they need to be with the ownership. And with that, staff is recommending Planning Commission adopt Resolution 2025-1, granting approval of the development of Blue Ridge at SUISUN Valley. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Now it's time for questions of staff. So please hold your comments on deliberations until after the questions, and we open and close public hearing. We'll start online with Commissioner Paul. Do you have any questions for staff?
Yeah, no comments, no questions either.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Greavy?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Commissioner Singh?
Yes, I did have some questions. First question was about the parking. There were, I believe, some, I wasn't sure if it was covered parking or if the parking was actually a ground floor carport, and then the second, and then where the parking would be on the ground floor and then the unit would be on top. Could we just clarify if it's covered parking or if it's like an in-unit parking type of project?
To clarify your question, are you asking if it's like covered parking or like a garage type of deal?
Yes, correct. I know that there are some spaces, or there are some parking spaces that are completely uncovered, but I believe that there are some spaces on building 1 and I believe building 2 where I'm not sure if it's covered parking or if the parking is on the ground floor.
Yeah, and the applicant team can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe there are kind of garage spaces that are included. There's also separate covered parking
Yes.
around this site. So there's both types of covered parking as part of the development.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, I just had one question about the condition regarding the 6 bike racks. I know I read something about every 25, I think, units, there has to be a bike rack. Is that a condition imposed by, who's that condition imposed by? The city?
Yeah, so that is a development regulation as per our municipal code.
Okay. I just was hoping we could get some more bike racks there. That's all.
Commissioner Matthews?
I would like to disclose that I went to a public hearing and met with members of the applicant and had discussions at that time, and have also had email correspondence with members of the applicant. Can you clarify what is included? Is solar part of our current code now, or is that strictly optional, and is that included in this project?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in for that.
And EV car charging
Sure.
stations? too.
So, under the City of Fairfield zoning ordinance, we don't currently have any requirements for solar or EV, so that would be the planning division's development regulations that we're putting forward. So for example, Commissioner Reese was asking about bike parking. We have a standard that says you must provide X bike parking. So although it is not in the Fairfield zoning ordinance, what I can say, it is in the California building code. So at this level, the conditions before you prepared by planning staff and public works staff won't have comments on those items. But once the applicant team gets to our building division for permit and code review, there will be some level of requirements. The applicant team is probably a little more educated on this than I am and can elaborate. I do believe the laws vary in terms of you must provide, or you must provide possibility for connection in the future. And every year they change. In fact, the building code will be changing at the end of this year.
And do we yet have any kind of timeline on when this would move forward?
Excuse me, the project itself? I'll defer to
Assuming
the
it's
applicant
approved.
team when they have a moment to speak.
That's all.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Werblin?
Good evening. Just a couple of questions. Do you know if there is any ADA units in this project?
I will also defer to the applicant on that, and they will have a chance to speak.
Okay. And another question. So this is a 3-level complex, and then across the street, I'm not looking at the diagram, where there's others, I think they're condos or townhomes. Is there any impact where if you're on the 3rd floor, you have any visuals into those condos homes? Would that be a concern?
So a couple of things. As per our zoning ordinance, the development itself meets our height requirements, so it's under the threshold for maximum height. And we don't currently have any visual impact regulations in terms of viewing into other people's properties. And we also had a couple of community meetings where those members across the street and also in the surrounding area were invited to come and comment and share any thoughts. And I don't think they had any concerns regarding that.
Okay.
Living right near here, I can tell you directly across the street is a church, so there's not a concern there. And catty corner to this project, there are single-family homes, and there's also a wall, a brick wall, so, and mature landscaping, so it's unlikely there would be any visual impact.
And the apartments themselves are set back because you've got Campus Lane, then you've got the clubhouse, which is single story, and then it's probably, 150, 200 feet before the 2 and 3 story structures are built. So it's a couple hundred feet away from those houses.
Thank you. I have not met with the applicant. I've only done a visual drive-by, so I'll disclose that just for transparency. And then my last question is, on the slide, it talked about the right-of-way for SUISUN Valley Road. Would you mind just highlighting that again? I didn't quite hear the last few things that you said, could you just do for that dedication of right-of-way along SUISUN Valley Road for me, please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
so there's dedication right away along SUISUN Valley Road. It's more for landscape maintenance for the city. Effectively, there's no changes to city operations, and it's more of a cleanup item because city public works already maintains that landscape strip. So we're just shifting ownership of it back to the city so we can do the things we need to do.
Okay, so you meant literal cleanup when you said that. I was thinking you meant cleanup more in the,
Like picking up litter.
yeah, it's just you meant
sorry, my
literally
bad.
cleanup.
It's a property line cleanup, if you will. Yulin, if you don't mind just going to a site plan very quickly, sorry not to
Thank you.
belabor this, but I do also want to mention, Yulin correctly notes about the landscaping. There's a very small portion of a sidewalk that is also part of that right-of-way that we are looking to have dedicated to the city.
Thank you.
That sidewalk does not currently exist, does it?
I believe it does.
I think it does.
Yes.
Does it?
It does.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I don't have any questions, but I will make some comments here. I was going to wait till after public hearing, but several of us, including the city staff, attended a public event that the applicants opened for the public and the neighbors several months ago. And so met with them, and then as a commission, we all received a letter of invitation to meet with them if we had any questions. I will disclose that I did not have any meetings or contact them since the public outreach event, so. Now, yes?
Chair, just one other point that I think it might be good to just highlight. This is right at the city limits, is it not?
It is.
Can you do a broader aerial and just show that with the highlight? Yeah, right there. So Solano County Road is in the county. Solano College Road is in the county, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just think that's important to note. Sorry.
All right, excellent. I'll now open the public hearing and invite the applicants to come up.
Greetings, everybody. Thank you very much for having us tonight. Really appreciate it. Good to see you all again. Some of you have new faces, but we are really excited about this project. It's really a beautiful project. I'm going to be able to answer some of those questions that you asked, and the folks here can answer more. You could put up the site plan real quick. But first and foremost, I want to thank staff. Big collaborative effort over the last year, basically. Maylee and Yilin have been fantastic, and the city process has been really smooth, and it's fantastic. Big congratulations to the city to get the general plan passed and through. That's fantastic, and it bodes really well for the future of Fairfield. Honestly, to get that done, we understand what a challenge that is. And having it pass, come through, it really lent itself to our work on this project, on Blue Ridge. Kind of a fancy marketing name. Some of you may know it as Campus Lane Residential. So that's out at Blue Ridge. That's what the marketing folks thought would be really good. So again, want to congratulate the staff on the general plan. And I'm going to state what you already know, and I apologize for being a little redundant, but I'm going to state that Blue Ridge is completely compliant with all applicable city planning and zoning requirements, and that's exciting for us. I'll probably say it again back here, but maybe I won't say that again. You've heard it enough. Most recently, you know us from Aurora over in Green Valley next to the library in Cordelia. And at that project, we're expecting occupancies in July, which is very exciting. The clubhouse should be open in the next 2-3 weeks. So we're really getting into leasing there. I think the main point with that project is that we've not had complaints from the get-go, nothing regarding dust or construction disruption. We just want to make sure you know that. We view ourselves as really collaborative and being a responsible development partner in the city. And we've got a lot going on in the city with our office buildings that you may know us from the past, and now we're into our residential endeavors. But, all in all, it's about longevity and quality, and that's what we try to put out there, every day with what we're doing. Let's see. This project is a little different from Aurora. It's a little more suburban and perhaps a little more upscale. It's going to have some upgrades. It's going to have elevators. It's going to have interior corridors, which we don't have over at Aurora. It has the tuck-under garages that you were, asking about, and then it has, carport covers. We don't even at Aurora have carport covers. So this has, a number of things that will lend itself. I'm going to be out of time. Can I be granted an extra minute?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'll be fast. So it's slightly different, but it's really going to appeal to a broader, more diverse demographic, everywhere from students, airmen at Travis Air Force Base, young, smallish families, and even empty nesters that are looking to downsize and kind of live that, the maintenance-free lifestyle. There's more parking here than Aurora. Aurora has such walkability. This one's a little further, a little harder to walk to Costco from here, but the parking ratio here is at 1.74 per unit as compared to about 1.4 at Aurora. So there's more parking. People will be able to drive here and get to and from work and all their, retail needs. You know all about the housing element. I think you know how the project has come through, so I don't need to mention that. I will quickly mention our first community outreach meeting was last September 25th, the first one, and we had one comment card. We addressed that with that person. We had another meeting recently, April 24th, where we invited everybody again. And it's just a nice event across the street in the building we own. We do own the building next door, so I think we'll be a good neighbor to the project. We won't complain too much. But it was a great event because we can look down on the parcel. So that event also had only one comment card, and we addressed that. So we did our best to reach out to the community and make sure they knew what we were doing all along the way. All in all, we're just genuinely excited. The team is here. We can answer your questions. So that's really all I had.
So I'll ask a couple questions here that were asked. Solar, EV charging.
Yeah, no, Lex may be able to answer more, but at Aurora, I know that solar is required. It's a state requirement, and we have solar on every roof in Aurora, and I believe that will be the same thing at this project. Okay. It's required by the state. And the EV chargers also is a tremendous requirement in terms of you first build a certain number of active chargers based on your unit count. It'll probably be roughly 7 active chargers initially here, I believe. Don't hold me to that exactly. But then you have to build in the ability to expand eventually up to as much as 25% of your units. So at this project, that may be in the range of 20 to 25 stalls that are either actively chargeable, charging stations, or they have the conduit and they're ready to go. And I don't know actually what triggers the eventual need to convert the charger-ready stalls to final stalls. I don't know, Derek, you may know. Derek probably knows I'm saying everything wrong. Derek is our architect, so he can come up and speak if I'm really saying something wrong.
Okay. And then I'll ask about ADA too then with Derek, so.
The ADA?
Yeah. Is there a percentage that are ADA
That I don't know.
compatible?
This is Derek Dutton from TWM Architects.
Derek Dutton from TWM, thank you. As far as accessibility is concerned, as was mentioned, All 3 residential buildings have elevators. That means every unit can be reached by somebody who's disabled. So the California Building Code requires that all of those units be adaptable, meaning that they have clearances in kitchens and bathrooms. They have removable cabinets in kitchens so that if people need access to the sink, that can be accommodated. And then the code further requires that 5% of the adaptable units, which in this case is all of them, have a slightly higher level of accessibility, a little more clearance in the kitchens and bathrooms. So all the bathrooms are fitted with backing in the wall, so grab bars can be installed by a handyman very simply, and things like that. Okay.
All right, thank you. Well, I'll get there. Okay. Now I'll close the public hearing. Oh, you have a question for them?
Yes, I just was curious, because I know that the city imposes the 6 bike rack requirement.
Yes.
But being so close to a college and wanting to appeal to a diverse group, is there room for more bike racks or anything like that to kind of support that?
We are absolutely supportive of that. I'd have to, would be part of our landscape plan, the site plan. And as of right now, I'm not sure, but that is an easy, low-hanging fruit to provide services to your residents. And you're right, being near the school, that makes sense. So we're open to, adding some if they can fit. You have to have path of travel and accessibility and everything that sometimes miraculously kind of constrains your ability to do things like that. But I'm happy to look into more bike racks. Yeah.
Commissioner Matthews?
It sounds like you're not really going after student population, but can you speak to a concern that you may end up having, you're probably at a price point where you're out of the student market, but still a concern has been raised about having 8 kids in an apartment sharing rent. Can you speak to that issue?
Well, I don't know, in terms of operationally, what's that? Sure, come on up.
So my name's Alexandros Economou. I'm a consultant on this project for Wiseman Commercial. So management will come in and they regulate through the leases the amount of people that can occupy each unit. So that sort of thing will not happen in a professionally managed community like this, where you end up with like true student housing where there's multiple bunk beds in each bedroom. So the lease requires that no more than X amount of people. Anybody with a car has to register the vehicle or it gets towed. And so it's managed to the point where that doesn't occur, because that's not good for the rest of the residents in the community either, and poses a problem, not just for the neighborhood, but the neighbors within the buildings. So it's a good question, though.
Commissioner Singh.
Yes, thank you so much. Wanted to ask, what was the approximate size of the different units? I know there's studios, 1 bedrooms, as well as 2 bedrooms. And then also, what was the motivation behind selecting that unit mix specifically, and to actually have studios as part of, studios 1 and 2 bedrooms?
The square footage these gentlemen can probably help with, but it goes from probably 600 feet in the studios up to 600 to 700 to 800 feet in the 1 bedrooms, and 1,070, I think, are the 2 bedrooms. And, when you're choosing unit sizes, you definitely want to be able to reach out to a diverse group that you think have the best chance of and desire to occupy your building and, where you are. So studios will capture perhaps some students. There is a price point issue there, but studios could be a couple students, but also just individuals and single working people that want that. You get into the 1 bedroom, people that want, maybe it's a couple, so they want to have that. 2 bedrooms, a little larger, where you have maybe there's a child in that other bedroom. We're just starting to do leasing at Aurora, and we have the same studios. It's not exactly the same ratio, but it is studio 1s and 2s. 3 bedrooms, we just think are not, those are definitely kind of family units, and it's not that we're anti-family, but these kinds of projects lend themselves to young families.
Right.
And 3 bedrooms probably maybe is just not going to be as well accepted as the studios 1s and 2s. I don't know if you can embellish that.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Warblin?
No, you have it.
Okay.
Thank you. No questions for me.
Sure.
Commissioner Paul?
Yes, I do have a question. Either I overheard it, I heard it, there's going to be 84 units, but I didn't get the bifurcation. How many studios, how many 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms going to be there, so that we can exactly know how many residents are going to be there. If a 3 bedroom is, at least there are going to be 4 people residing in that place, and if it's a 1 bedroom, it's 1 or 2, so we can just have an idea how many total residents could be accommodated in this project.
So it's 17 studio units, 35 one-bedroom units, and 32 two-bedroom units.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Commissioner Paul?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Greavy?
Thank you. With the leasing, et cetera, I know several people that work in the Fairfield, Vacaville area and live elsewhere, sometimes like to spend the night there in Fairfield or need to. Is there any restrictions on those, as the example of the studios, those being Airbnbs?
I do not know.
I'm happy to chime in a little bit, not to interrupt the applicant team, but
John?
I do want to point out that as of right now, the city of Fairfield does not permit Airbnbs. So from a city's perspective, it would not be permitted. Are there 0 in the city? I don't know if I can say that with 100% confidence, but we do actively enforce Airbnb cases through our police department.
Similar to the question of how many people can reside in each unit, the lease will also dictate no Airbnbs. And that's something that's really important to a project like this.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. The only questions I have is, well, it's not really a question, it's more of a statement. Hopefully that you'll have a little bit of a preference at the beginning for college employees, teachers, staff, other support staff that would be able to do that, rent there and be able to walk across and do those things. So that way the community, I know when I attended the one event, that was one of the questions that people asked was there going to be a little extra for them to reside there? So.
Well, we have a good relationship with Solano College right now, and they're actually a tenant of ours in that building. We lease them a fair chunk of space, and we're, Zen Hunter Ishikawa, who's our, marketing and leasing business development officer. He has that relationship, and by all means, we would be reaching out to them early in that process, leasing process, and making every opportunity available to them to, get on that list, and we would be happy to make that happen.
That'd be great. Be great for the community too. So,
you may have asked about timing. Somebody did, and I don't think that was answered. And so, briefly, we would like to be out of the ground here next spring. So there's some folks here that will end up working incredibly hard to get the big package, the permit package ready over these next 6 months or so, 5 months, and get it submitted to the city so that when the rain stops falling next spring, we can be out grading and making things happen.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's the hope.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner?
Sorry, just one more follow-up. John, you mentioned about Aurora, that you're just starting leasing, but the clubhouse is almost done and so forth. Can you give us any more insight as to how that's going?
Yeah, I mean, we're just now, we had 60 preliminary inquiries as of, 2-3 months ago. We had a splash page up and we got about 60. Now, a lot of that's kind of bots and various things that aren't real, but we think, we know that, more than 30 were real. And then as of today, we're meeting weekly now with our marketing team that's out there, and they're doing a lot of social media, all those different things you got to do. And as of today, we can't really sign a lease yet, and they're actually finalizing some of the paperwork to actually start entering into deposit agreements. But as of right now, there's roughly 50 people that are showing very sincere interest. And, our marketing person who's not overly aggressive is saying as soon as maybe next week, she'll be able to start bringing people in to start, getting them to sign deposit agreements. It's not a lease, but it's a deposit agreement. And that really kicks things off. So it's going well.
And that's 180, how many
No,
units?
only 72.
Only
So
72.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Blue Ridge is 84,
Yeah.
12 units more.
Okay.
We think about 100 people will live at Aurora, and it may be close to that here. This project has, Blue Ridge has more studios, actually, than we do at Aurora, fairly. So the ratio is going to work out. It may be 110 people or so that we think will live here. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Any other questions, commissioners? Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Close the public hearing. And return to commission for deliberations. Any questions or motion?
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment. This is specifically regarding the unit size and unit mix. So then the units for the studios are approximately 600 square feet. For the one bedrooms, they're around 800 square feet. For the two bedrooms, they're around 1,070 square feet approximately. Those sizes are massive compared to the existing studios, one bedrooms, and two bedrooms here in Fairfield. And so I think with respect to sizing, this is a larger product. And so if people want to have more stuff, this is the place that could accommodate that type of need. And then also with respect to the unit mix, there's studios, one bedrooms, and two bedrooms. To my understanding, 95% of Fairfield's multifamily unit stock is comprised of one and two bedroom units, meaning that roughly 5% and less is studios and three bedrooms. To me, that means that young professionals that are looking to get their own place and leave the home don't have an option for a studio. And families that have outgrown their two-bedroom spaces don't have a three-bedroom. In this project, roughly 20% of the unit mix is studios. This is an expansion of the studio product here in Fairfield. It adds another option to young professionals that are seeking this type of product. And so I thought that was a plus here for this project. Also, there is a central courtyard area. It's like a main arterial funnel. For actually all buildings 1, 2, and 3, which is nice to have like a social cohesion element to the project. And so those are my comments.
Thank you. Commissioner Reese?
I really appreciate the aesthetics. I think it's a beautiful project. I like it. And I also appreciate the fact that it's going to have elevators. I don't think we have very many apartments with elevators. And I think that's very helpful, especially it appeals to a more diverse crowd. Like you said, people who are downsizing as well. Thanks.
Commissioner Matthews, anything?
I'm supportive of the project. I think we've got a well-qualified and proven developer that's locally based, which is something that's also nice to see. And I'm ready to make a motion when the chair would like to entertain that.
Okay. Commissioner Werblin, any final comments?
Good evening again. I think this is a really good mix of units. I do think we need something similar with 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms for families that have 2 children or more. They need something like this if they can't yet afford to purchase a home. Something that has all of these elevated amenities. But I think it's a good use of that empty lot near the college. And hopefully, as the chair mentioned, having some type of agreement with the Solano College teachers or counselors, for them to have a nice entryway, even if that's a reduction in a deposit or whatever that enticement could be for those who work there, and also other teachers in the city of Fairfield as well, to keep our people in the city so they don't have to live someplace else and then commute in. So I think this is a really good idea and fits well with our general plan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Paul?
Yes, all I can say is, as it looks to me, it's a good project, and it will help all the teachers and the students from the Solano Community College to accommodate them and their families. And I would say that, like Commissioner Matthews said, he's ready to say yes on the motion, so I'm in the same way too. Thank you. Thank you for this project.
Thank you. Commissioner Greavy, any final comments?
Pretty much unnecessary, but I think it's a great, clean product with a great company behind it. And I'm thrilled that they're putting it forward for us as an opportunity for the community.
Great, thank you. My only comments are two things. I appreciate the fact that this is very high residential and that you went on the minimum end of 27 units per acre when you could have gone up to 40 and shrunk the size of the buildings and the apartment stuff. So I like that. And I also really appreciate the setbacks are all much greater than the minimums required. So it's going to have a little bit more open space, just make it more livable for these families. So I commend you on that. So with that, I will entertain Commissioner Matthews' motion. And do I have a second?
Well, actually,
You want to?
Did I miss the public comments? There was the closure of the public hearing, but I didn't hear the floor get actually open, so I apologize.
I'm very sorry. I'm not sure who is speaking at the moment, but yes, we opened and closed the public comments. Are you a member of the public who would like to make comment?
Yes, I was specifically waiting for an opening after Wiseman Commercial representation spoke, so I apologize, I missed that. I'm a homeowner in Bradbury Park. I live right across the street.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to cut you off very quickly just so that our chair can reopen the public comment periods, and then we'll take your comment.
Sorry about that. We didn't see the hands raised. So let me go ahead and reopen that hearing. And can you please state your name?
Sure.
For the record?
My name is Nicole Yee. My last name is spelled Y-U-E. I have been a homeowner of Bradbury Park since the ground was broken in 2015. I moved in January of 2016. So that's nearly a decade of homeownership here in this community. I was actually in the first Homeowners Association board. I was a member all the way from the inception in 2016, and then I became the president in 2016 as well, through 2019. Was voted in there. And I just have three topics, and I recognize that everybody's getting excited to wrap, so please bear with me. This is, the second topic in particular is not the most fun topic. It does have to do with parking. But I was asked to come to this meeting. I actually missed the hearing notice, but one of my colleagues in the community let me know, and they asked me to attend. So the first item is partnership with Bradbury Park. I just want to make sure we're doing the right things there to make sure that there actually is infrastructure for partnership. I've definitely acknowledged the partnership with Solano Community College that has been called out, as well as with Wiseman Commercial next door, but we're the triad. I think we're the other leg here. Parking is the second item and traffic is the third. So I would like to just systematically move through this quickly. I don't think the partnership item is too lengthy, just essentially like meeting materials before there is a hearing, right? I believe those can be expected by Bradbury Park to be shared, in a healthy partnership with some representation from Bradbury Park in advance of these hearings, like not a by request, but as a partner in this ecosystem that's being built and affected, like within feet. I would just request that there's some flow of information to some representative. If it's the board, that would be fair. If it's Landmark Limited, the HOA, company, that would be fair so that it can be distributed to the current board members. That's not even me at this point, but I think that's a fair flow of information. Does anybody have any questions on that piece?
Nope.
Or I can keep going. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it for the consideration. Also, with the parking concern. So just to, some of this is not in the ballpark or in the onus of Wiseman Commercial or Blue Ridge, but I think context is really important, right? Being a homeowner here for 10 years, owning more than one car, but always responsibly parking my cars in the garage as long as they could fit there, I have recognized the following. There are 146 homes approximately in Bradbury Park. There has been diligent work to ensure that community parking, so parking that, when your car doesn't fit, your truck doesn't fit within your garage, that there is space on streets for your parking. But what we've noticed over the years is there's always overflow. There's always more cars. If there's 3 to 5 bedroom units, all the homes are 3 to 5 bedrooms, there are approximately 2 to 4 cars per home, and there aren't nearly enough parking spaces even for the community here.
15 seconds.
So last thing here is just, there's a red stripe on the north side of Campus Lane that blocks about 14 spaces of parking. I wonder what's being done with those spaces, given that there's a change in the ownership or the change in the deployment of these homes. So if somebody could look into that, that would be appreciated. And there's just a lot of traffic at Green Valley Road and SUISUN Valley, Green Valley Road and Business Center Drive. The traffic there is not well coordinated with the lights, always been an issue, and I'm sure it'll get worse when there's more apartment buildings. And the Business Center Drive where Neitzel Road intersects also. There was a street light added there, but the flow is very not coordinated.
Thank you.
Last thing, there are four other apartment buildings within a 3-mile radius. So we just have a very
Your time is
large
up.
apartment buildings. And I appreciate the time, but that's representing the entire Bradbury Park community as best I can.
Thank you, Nicole. I will now close the public hearing. Any other questions on that? Okay. So, do I have a motion to approve resolution PC 2025-1?
I move to adopt resolution number PC 2025-1.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Reese. Have a motion and a second. And now we will have Ms. Sheehan do a roll call vote for us.
Yes. Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Werblin?
Yes.
Commissioner Matthews?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Commissioner Singh?
Yes.
Commissioner Greavy?
Oh, so we can block her from unmuting herself?
Commissioner Greavy? Commissioner Paul?
And Commissioner Paul?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay, excuse me.
Yep.
They had taken over my mute for some reason, so I am in favor of it. Yes.
Thank you. All right, so the motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much. Ms. Sheehan, do you have any items for the director's reports?
Yes, I do. It's been a little while since we've all come together, so I did want to touch a handful of items. I know it seems as though perhaps you guys have had a slow start to the year. Well, I promise you, your summer will be full. So for the month of June, please expect to have this meeting on both June 11th and June 25th. We have 4 items in the queue. I can't tell exactly which ones will be on which day, but you'll have something on both of those dates. Just to give you a quick preview of it, there will be a project called Vista Ridge, not to be confused with Blue Ridge that just came through, but Vista Ridge zone change. There is not actually a development for you guys to review and consider, but it is purely the land use designation, the zone change itself. We also will have our annual Public Works capital consistency with our general plan. So the state of California does require that we evaluate our general plan along with our public works projects to see are we building things that are consistent with that plan. So that's a bit of a tag team presentation between our planning division and our public works team. We will also be, you guys will be reevaluating a project called Tabor Commons. Sometimes it's referred to as EAH housing. It's an affordable housing project off of East Tabor. It has been approved by this body, I believe, twice. Due to financing reasons, they haven't been able to move forward with the development, and the approvals are only valid for 2 years. So every so often, they come back to you to extend those approvals. And then lastly, there is in the queue a study session item. So not necessarily an item for your action, but it's an item to inform you, and that will be on the master project called the Villages of Fairfield. That project is partially built out currently. Its main roads you can think of is Claybank Road and Manuel Campos. The developer Lewis Corporation is looking to expand their master plan, so they're going to come to this body to give you an overall of where they're at and what they're proposing and what the future of that development will look like for their team. So those are the 4 items we have in motion for June. We do have a couple items that will probably be queuing in July as well. And then there'll be opportunity for us to add items for August. I know a few of you attended the Planning Commissioners Training and Affordable Housing Forum, where our staff person, Jessie Hernandez, was in attendance, and so she brought back some comments and questions from you all. I'm working on that, working to build that into our summer program here, so we can maybe look out at August for some CEQA informational sessions and other items as you guys see fit. I do also just want to highlight that in March, we did have our Planning Commissioners Academy that several of you attended. I won't speak too much into it if any of you want to, but I just want to make sure everyone is aware. We've had a couple trainings, and I appreciate all of your guys' time and effort to attend those things. I know you have regular lives and regular responsibilities, so taking that extra time is very much appreciated by planning staff. And then I also want to note that our team is in motion to get a consultant on board for our general plan implementation. So we talk a lot about the new general plan we adopted in December, and the next step is how do you make it happen, right? We've mapped out a vision for the city for the next 20, 30 years. There are several goals and policies in there that have actionable items. Getting a consultant on board will help the city, not only the planning division, but the city as a whole, organize an action plan for those items so that we do see that plan being achieved and implemented. There might also be some state requirements for us to do that as well, but that is not the goal. The goal is to do it for our community. So shortly here, maybe in the next month or so, we should have a consultant on board to get that in motion. I will let you know a lot of those items will go straight to the city council. There may be a few that pass through your body first, but I just want to give you that heads up. And of course, you're always welcome to contact myself, Dave Zellers, our Community Development Director, or Anna Giles, our Deputy Community Development Director, if you have comments or ideas or want to be any part of that general plan implementation process. And then 2 more items. I swear I'm trying to talk quickly for you all. You should have seen, and if you have not, please reach out to me at the end of this meeting, but we are looking to have lunch with you all. You know, it's been a long time. There are some new faces on our team and on your body, so we want to just be able to have that kind of quick meet and greet, see, you know, what piques your interest as a planning commissioner, what kind of trainings and educational items we can bring forward to you in addition to the projects. How can we partner together to better the community of Fairfield? So if you haven't received an email from Cindy Garcia looking to schedule a lunch, please stop and talk to me after we finish this meeting. And then the last item I do just want to celebrate a bit is our planning team has had a lot of changes in the last several months. So if you recall, there was a wonderful man, Dave Feinstein, who held down the fort for almost 30 years. With his retirement, there was sort of a domino effect of very well earned and deserved promotions. I am now sitting in his seat as the planning division manager. That did give way for Jonathan Atkinson to become a principal planner and for Jessie Hernandez to be a senior planner. Yelin was very modest tonight, but she is now our associate planner. So those are the promotions that have taken place. In addition, we've also brought some new members onto the team. We now have Melissa Fryer, who is a junior planner. She did an internship with the city of Vacaville, but she's Fairfield born and bred and very happy to be here. And then we also have another senior planner, Vikram Chima, who has spent most of his public sector in Southern California, but we don't tease him too much for that. But he did a quick stint in the private sector, and he's returning to his roots of serving the community. So our team is rounded out. We're completely full. And if you haven't had a chance to meet some of those faces, you will see them this summer. As I mentioned, we have a nice queue for you of projects and items.
Hopefully Bikram isn't a fan of any LA sports teams.
Ooh,
so.
we've already, I'll let him rip those Band-Aids
anyway.
with you.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, we'll start online with Commissioner Paul. Do you have anything?
Yeah, all I can say, we welcome all the new entrants, all the new postings. Like Meili first, she's in a new chair as our planning manager, and the new planners. This is our first meeting in the new year. The last meeting we had was, I think, December 11th, and it has been almost 6 months. We haven't seen each other, and we didn't read any of the subjects. And I'm happy we have something for coming months in June and July, like Meili said. And I'm really happy we're going to be sitting together and making our inputs, and so that we have more conversation with our fellow colleagues and city officials and the staff. That's what it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Greavy?
I really have nothing to say. It's been a great vacation. I'm looking forward to us getting back to work.
Awesome, thank you. Commissioner Singh?
Yes, I just wanted to commend staff for being as detailed and working hard as they are. We haven't had a planning commission meeting now in around 5 to 6 months, but projects have been moving behind the scenes, as evidenced by the increase in staff. That's not just occurring because it's occurring. There's a reason for that, and I think it's because of these projects that are going to be coming down the pipeline. And then also, even though we didn't have a planning commission meeting for the past 5 to 6 months, I appreciated staff's outreach to the planning commissioners and actually getting us trained during this stretch of no meetings. There was a planning commissioner training in Santa Rosa. There was a planning commissioner training by the Solano Transportation Authority. So the efforts that staff has been making into us commissioners as well is appreciated. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Reese?
I'll just say that had an opportunity to attend the Planning Commissioner Academy, and it was great getting to know some of the staff a little bit more, some of my colleagues here, and it was very informative, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks. Commissioner Matthews?
Just like to echo, it's great to see promotion from within, and congratulations to all those who were promoted. And make note that June 11th, I will be traveling on business. I'll be available for the meeting, but I'll need to set up a Zoom connection.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Werblin?
Congratulations again. I know it's been a while. And any of those items from Ms. Hernandez, some of those were probably for me and also for Commissioner Singh. I'm more than happy to expound on any of those and help in any way I can. Thank you.
And I'll end it with congratulations to everybody in the planning department, and also congratulations to our assistant city manager, who will be unfortunately leaving Fairfield but taking the head reins for the city of Vacaville. So we will have a new partner there that we can converse with. So on that, we will adjourn until June the 11th. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.